Gaël Ficou, la longue passe sur les extérieurs pour Damien Penaud qui trouve le soutien à nouveau de Gaël Ficou. Ils sont vraiment tout proches de la rupture maintenant, ces Gallois. Serein avec Vakatawa en puissance. Et de maîtrise dans ces derniers instants. Ce ballon vaut très cher. Baptiste Serein le libère. Chameau en pivot. Tamac. Ficou sur un ballon. C'est le brise du c'est incroyable cet essai de brise du Llama.
So we've left ourselves with a chance of qualifying for a Champions League quarter-final, but the Valencia tie is not even the game we've come back for today. We've got another biggie to show you first, but before we get to any of that, we need to say a massive thank you to the channel's first Patreon. We've not promoted the Patreon page because of, reasons, but Steve Kim found a link to it down in the video description below and has signed up as the channel's first Patreon. It is humbling that anybody wants to contribute towards this channel, and it's very gratifying that anybody has signed up to be a Patreon at all. So thank you to Steve, and now let's see if we can reward him with reaching a French Cup final. So before we get to our form, the transfer window closed about 5 weeks ago, and I've done a bit of business because I didn't think the squad was strong enough to get us through to the end of the season. I've bought in a centre-back, a central midfielder, and a forward player as well. One of them is a permanent transfer. That's Johan Monet, an absolute artist, a really rugged, powerful centre-back, only 22 years old. We paid 7 million for him. He's worth 11. He's played 4 games, scored a goal for us already. Beyond this season, he could become a first-choice centre-half, I think. But we've also bought in a midfielder. One of our Sub-Zero heroes, Paul Runnigan, comes in on loan from Milan. He has been out and about a little bit since he left Trompsdalen. He's been on loan with Trompsdalen as well as with Schalke and Montpellier. And now he's come in. He's already made 6 appearances for us. We're playing him as a midfielder. We know he'd much rather be a striker, and he gives us cover there as well. But he does provide a little bit of extra depth to the squad. The other player we've bought in has raced straight into the first team and has already scored plenty of goals for us, both in the league and in cup competitions as well. So this is Maximilian Mallet, no relation to the great man, but a pacey option up front who is a good finisher, has already got a cap for France. He's on loan from PSG. He's valued at £28 million, and his goals have been a welcome little addition to a team that has struggled a little bit in the league, even though it's only lost 1 game since we last saw you. So we've played quite a few games since that last episode where we were blitzing Stuttgart in the Champions League, but you'll see that that defeat against PSG, along with too many draws in the league, have probably meant that we're no longer in a title race, and some of these draws were pretty disappointing. We were 2-0 up against Rennes and only left the game with a point. We also drew 2-2 with Troyes, who were bottom of the table with just 5 points when we played them. We also dropped points against Metz, which means that I think the title is over for this year, and it's not even PSG that are leading the table. Monaco are setting the pace this time. However, in the cups we fared a little bit better. We got that all-important 1-1 draw out in Spain against Valencia. It was a very late goal from Maxi Mallet that got us the away goal in that tie, but it could be crucial. You'll see the match stats show we were second best all over the park on this game, but we go into the home tie with a sniff of a chance of getting through. Things have also been going well in the French Cup, by the way. We got an 8-0 win in the early rounds against Cognac before we beat lower league Béziers 4-1. Before perhaps our performance of the season, we played Monaco, top of the league Monaco, and we managed to beat them 4-2. And what's more, in the very same round, PSG lost to Le Havre on penalties, meaning the top two teams in the league both exited the cup. We were rewarded with a quarter-final against Strasbourg, and we were absolutely superb. Larson Plein was on the score sheet, as was Maxi Mallet and Lansana Bar. We breezed our way into a semi-final. Since the Valencia game, we've followed it up with 2 4-goal performances, one against Strasbourg again and another against Nantes, which leads us into a double header against Lorient. And Lorient are a good side, and they have a player that we would love to have in our team. Dylan Thomas, clearly of Welsh ancestry, is an absolute poet. We have him on our shortlist because he is a player that would be an absolute threat if we could have him up front. He's so pacey, agile, the dribbling, the finishing, the first touch. He's already played 5 games for France and scored 4 goals for them. He's valued at 54 million, which is why we've not made a move for him. But he is the player that looks like he could be a thorn in our side in this evening's game. So, we've got to get out there and play Lorient. This is a game that we would dearly love to win because we've performed poorly in the Cups ever since we started Sub-Zero. This evening is the game where we could put all of that right. Before we get out there and play them though, let's just give you a little jobs update. So we're in early March time and we still haven't had a job come up that's tempted us yet. Maybe, if we just stay patient, the next job offer could be just around the corner. There's some great jobs available, like Wolfsburg, for example, in the Bundesliga. But we really like the idea of our next job being at another club that have never won their domestic title. And Wolfsburg, of course, have won Bundesliga crown. There are some nice jobs in the second divisions, but I think we want our next move to be to a top division club. But there are, however, plenty of teams who are reaching the end of their domestic season and their managerial positions are very insecure or insecure. There's some jobs potentially coming up if we're patient in the top divisions in Portugal, in Turkey, in Greece. All 3 of those nations that we are interested in. So we'll keep you updated as job positions become available. However, it's time to get out there for a very big game this evening because we've got plenty of work to do with Toulouse. We've got a chance of potentially winning them another trophy, but we've got to get to the French Cup final first. Okay, the game is underway. We are the home team. Lorient are below us in the table, but they have got some dangerous players. They've got, by the way, a very good youth development structure, which has meant that they have brought through some really, really strong players. And this guy, Dylan Thomas, is one that we are particularly nervous about. And we're 10 minutes into the game and Lorient are already on the attack. We've managed to hack the ball clear. And we've now got this twin strike force that we are playing of young Maxi Mallet and Larson Plein as well. And the 2 of them have been in some pretty scintillating form. We're playing them both as advanced forwards at the moment. And it's been working rather nicely. So we're hoping that we can cause Lorient some problems of their own. It looks pretty even in the first quarter of the game. Lorient have perhaps had the more shots, but we've got the better XG. But nothing even close to a breakthrough yet. We're on 31 minutes. Here is one of our Sub-Zero heroes, Larson Plein. And here is little Maxi Mallet. Timmy would be so proud. And he has whackadayed us into the lead. This could be huge. We've not even been to a domestic cup semi-final in FM21. This is our first shot at making it to a cup final. And we've got the breakthrough against Lorient. This could be huge. A French Cup to just crown our time in France would be another nice little feather in the cap. And here's Larson Pleam looking to make it 2 before half time. We've got Salim Chan chasing after the ball. And now we want to try and craft a chance. Here's Giaria. He's got a bit of space in front of him. He's slung it in. It fell to Timmy Mallet on the goal line. He could have tapped it home. Their goalie made an absolute mess of it. Mallet looked a little bit startled. Wasn't able to just stroke it home, but we're in again. Here is Mallet. He's got the ball to Bar. And Larson Pleam's in. And he tucks it into exactly the same corner as his strike partner Mallet. We've got a 2-0 lead going into half time. I was pretty cautious about this game. I've actually dropped our defensive line and our lines of engagement because I thought Lorient were going to be quite of a threat. And maybe just lowering that line of engagement has left a little bit of room in behind their defence as their own back line have stepped up because we've got in behind them twice. And we've been able to punish them, and we're into the highlights for another time before half time. 3-0. 3-0 would be dreamland because we could rest a few players because we've got this big game against Valencia in just a couple of fixtures time. Larson Pleam has gone down. Lansana Bar is going to have the chance from the spot to put us 3-0 up at the break. This would be a great result, but Lansana Bar does not even hit the target. He has blazed it wide, and there's still a little bit of work to do. We've looked dominant in that half. I'd have felt more comfortable with a third goal. We're going to go and tell the boys that the job is not done. We'll see you for the second period. Okay, we're back underway. The only poor performance we've really got out there is Kyrgyzstan as our right back. So we've left everything as is. I felt like we were creating some good chances in that first half. And if that penalty had gone home, I'd have thought we were probably in the final. But I think we might need one more goal. Here is Kyrgyzstan. He's got it to Chan. Into Bar, who's got a bit of making up to do after that terrible penalty. And he sent it through to our left back. He's got it over Larson Pleam. What might be offside? He was stood on the toes of the keeper. This is how this boy is playing at the moment. He's turned it home. He's becoming a real asset, you know, Larson Pleam. He's had his 19th birthday. And I would not be surprised if he gets a little call-up from Norway, you know. We do have a Sub-Zero hero that's made it into the Norwegian squad. One of our old players, Morten Fjellingsdal, has secured a transfer to Inter in Serie A and has now made 2 appearances for the Norwegian national team and scored a goal. So we have one of our old Tromsdalen boys in the Norway squad. I reckon Sturvold and Larson Pleam might not be a million miles behind him, you know, because they are both developing pretty nicely. Lorient have had a little reply. It's been chalked off. Offside, I guess, and I think we've got away with one there. We're getting towards the 60-minute mark. We've got one more highlight then. I think we might need to make some changes. We've been resting these players because we've pretty much thought that the league is out of our grasp now. We're 11 points behind Monaco. So we're going for Champions League and French Cup as our priorities. So we rested this entire 11. It's not a bad effort by Chan, is it, in our last fixture? We'll rest them again for the second game against Lorient in the league, so they're fresh for the Champions League tie against Valencia. But these boys are playing pretty well this afternoon. Salim Chan has struck that one like he meant it. We've got ourselves a 4-0 lead, so now we can rest a couple more players. Surely they can't think that a comeback is on, can they? They must be demoralised at 4-0 down in a cup semi-final. We've got the ball again, Labate. Larson Pleam's got one more bit of action in him. Could have sealed his hat-trick there. He's drifted it just past the post. And his afternoon is done with the penalty. This could have been 5 as well. I'm chalking this up as a good result. Look, we've got an XG approaching 5. We've not seen that for quite some time. We've made it through to a French Cup final, regardless of what happens in that Valencia game. We've got something to play for towards the end of the season. It's a good win. We want more of the same in the final. And that is a nice little feather in the cap. I think the final thing we can do, by the way, before we sign off for today, is to just have a little look at the league and show you why I think we're no longer in a title race. We're there on 57 points. PSG are ahead of us on 62. But Monaco are a further 4 points ahead of them. With only, 11 games to go till the end of the season, I don't see us clawing that kind of margin back against two teams who are in pretty good form. However, it does mean that we have got some cup games coming up before the end of the season that we can savour. The next one we're back for is going to be quick. We're going to be playing Valencia in the second leg of that Champions League knockout round. And then we've got a French Cup final on the horizon as well. And it looks like we're going to be playing a team from the division below. Now, I have previous of cup finals against teams from the division below. And anybody that watched along in FM20 will know that they don't always go very well. But it at least means that we've got some exciting games to show you before the end of our time in Toulouse. And it's going to be starting in the next episode where we're going to be taking on Valencia for a place in the Champions League quarter-final.